Hi, everybody. Okay. It's been a crazy day. I actually just got in from running outside really quick, so I'm in my jacket, and it's really hot in here, so I may have to take my coat off as we go. But I wanted to jump on and make sure I was on time because I'm excited to talk about the topic tonight for Q&A Wednesday. By the way, if you live in Tri-Cities, Washington, please be careful out there. I know it's been a lot of crazy weather. I understand being safe. I'm a little sick of school being canceled. My kids are bored, but I'm grateful that everybody's trying to be as safe as possible. But it's raining like a crazy person out there. Yeah, I'm a little drenched as I run back in. So keep in mind that it's still important to be safe and stay dry. And I don't even know what the weather is going to keep doing. This is something else. I find it funny that everybody's surprised. We were kind of due for this kind of weather at this point. Matter of fact, the Farmer's Almanac said that we were due for this kind of weather. So, that's just the way it goes. But I'm kind of ready for, I don't know, winter in Cancun or something. So anyhow, welcome everybody. It is January. For those of you that are already feeling frustrated with your New Year's resolutions, you know what? Keep going. It takes a little bit of time. And guys, you're not going to see overnight changes. Keep in mind that things happen over time, and your body starts to work getting healthy from the inside out. So it's not about how quick you can get there. It's about how long can you stay there once you get where you want to go. So keep that in mind. But I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about Appetite Suppressants because I see that they have a new prescription medication available right now. And again, I am the queen of rolling my eyes, and that is the first thing that happened as soon as I saw that garbage. I'm a little frustrated with the whole thing because, people think that appetite suppressants are important because you're hungry. So let's talk a little bit about that. Is an appetite suppressant a gimmick? Well, yes and no. Is it one more way for companies to make money? Absolutely. And they're going to market it as such because you know what? Obviously, if we eat less right, we're going to lose some weight. Again, did you watch me just roll my eyes? Let's talk about this for a second. So first of all, when we're talking about appetites, number one, you got to decide which kind of appetite we're talking about. Because most of us don't have problems with us being hungry, belly hungry, tummy hungry, body going, hey, I need food. Most of us have issues with being hungry. So think about that. If you're actually taking an appetite suppressant because you're hungry, is it really going to work? There's other ways around that. Most of us do know that we struggle one way or another with eating our feelings for whatever reason, whether we've been taught that growing up, comfort foods, those kind of things, or, just gosh, food can be a drug. That's part of the problem is that food overcomes something else or covers up that feeling, just like taking something else. So keep that in mind that if your appetite comes from here, not here, the appetite suppressant's not even going to cover that. Secondly, why is an appetite bad? Let's talk about that. Why is an appetite bad? If you're hungry, that's your body telling you something. You need food. The problem is most of us just immediately go to eating junk. We just think, okay, well, I'm hungry. I need to eat junk. No, that means your body's hungry. Feed it. The thing is, you need to feed it with good food. You can ask any of my current clients that we've been working with nutrition. When you eat healthy food, clean food, as a matter of fact, most of my people struggle for the first few weeks trying to get that much food in. The volume is a lot. When you eat clean, you're eating low calorie foods, it's tough to eat enough food. As a matter of fact, I have to giggle on a regular basis because a lot of times we hear so much, hey, you want to lose weight, eat 1,200 calories. I'm like, no, you should be eating 1,800 calories. That's a pretty big difference, especially when you're eating really healthy, clean, sometimes low-fat foods. By the way, fat is not bad. Yeah, it's a struggle to eat that much food. So if you're hungry, that's your metabolism working. When I don't like to give meal plans, but a lot of times I give a good guideline. And when I do, people struggle with it for the first 2 weeks. They're like, Melissa, I cannot eat this much food. I'm going, you were eating like double the calories. You were just eating it in junk. Once they do that for a couple of weeks, all of a sudden their metabolism kicks in. They're ravenous. You know that you've hit that point, that amazing point where, hey, every 2.5 to 3 hours, my stomach tells me I'm hungry. It gets pissed, right? It's saying, feed me now. Welcome to your metabolism. That's what that's for. So, my thought process on the appetite suppressant, even for somebody who is immensely obese overweight, really struggling, usually an appetite suppressant isn't the answer, because again, you've actually confused your body so much with eating a lot of high fructose corn syrup, some other things that really mess with the hormones, and our body actually has no idea how to tell whether or not it's satiated. We just need to start cutting out the sugar. You're going to have to detox. There is an absolute addiction to sugar. Refined sugars are out there. Our body just, it lights up the same part of your brain as heroin. And you know, it's basically, it's a form of crack. Your body actually looks forward to it. It needs it. And of course, it's a short-term high. So as soon as we fall off the sugar, it just wants more. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a process. Is it going to be easy? No. I don't understand why everybody thinks that this is going to be an easy, super quick, hey, you know what, I've eaten really clean for 2 weeks. I've been to the gym every day for 2 weeks. Why am I not seeing results? You are. You feel different, don't you? Right? So, you know, it's not about being successful all the time. Remember that success is messy. It's never going to be perfect. I still fall off. I just get right back on. Keep that in mind. So all my people on are agreeing with me that sugar is crack. Yes, unfortunately, it's tough to overcome. It's tough to stop eating. So so let's go back and let's talk about what we just talked about. So appetite suppressants, how I feel about that. Again, appetite suppressant usually is trying to take care of a physical hunger, which most of the time that's not why we're hungry. I'm very aware that when I crave something, it's because I'm bored or I'm stressed out. And it's usually chocolate. I usually crave something comfort. It's not necessarily sweets for everyone, but usually everybody has their vice. So keep that in mind, that if you're hungry, not hungry, it's not going to fix that situation. You're actually going to have to pay attention to what kind of hunger that is. And you should be able to tell the difference. We've talked about that recently. If you're not feeling it down in your belly and it's actually that tight, hungry feeling, it is not physical hunger. It is actually a psychological or a mental hunger. So appetite suppressants don't fix that. Secondly, if you are feeling an actual physical hunger, feed it. It's called a metabolism. You need to feed it. The problem is we just normally feed it with junk, and thereby that's the wrong kind of foods to be feeding it with. So let me just give you a quick case scenario. I know this doesn't necessarily have to do with the appetite suppressants themselves, but just the usual issue that I get with someone who is just starting to try and lose weight or eat healthy. A very usual case would be someone that comes in, they don't eat breakfast, they might drink coffee. By the time they get to work, say 10 or 11, they might eat a bagel, which, yeah, you know how I feel about refined foods. By 1 or 2, maybe 3 o'clock, they're finally starting to eat lunch. By the time they get home, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they're ravenous, okay? And they think, well, you know, I've had barely any calories today, so I can have whatever I want, because really I've restricted myself all day. I'm going to eat whatever I can find. And so then to add insult to injury, they eat whatever they can find in the house, or they stop through the drive-through. So basically what they've just done is literally crash their metabolism for the day by not eating. And by mid-afternoon or even early evening, then they eat a bunch of junk, which they've just put on top of no metabolism. What do you think your body's going to do with it? It's going to starve it, or it's going to store it, sorry, because you've been starving all day. Remember, your body does not know the difference between a diet and starvation. So if you're not getting enough food, if you're not getting enough calories, your body's going to store it because it thinks it doesn't know when it's going to get to eat again. And that can be a problem. So anyway, you're funny, Angie, by the way. I love my coffee too, so I get that. Coffee's not the problem. Usually the issue with coffee is what you put in it. When a 6-calorie, 8-calorie coffee becomes a 600-calorie coffee because of all the stuff you put in it, we have a problem. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to drink all my calories. I'd rather eat something. So just keep that in mind. Anyhow, so you know what? My challenge for you this week is to really think about whether or not an appetite suppressant even works for the average person. The reason that brought this up was there's a new one called like Contrave or something like that, and it's supposed to somehow, I don't know, it's supposed to work psychologically with and help you to not crave mentally or feeling wise crave those foods. My problem with that is the side effects. I know a little more about prescriptions than I used to. And the downside is that the average prescription does not work for most people. If you do some more research into that, you'll understand what I'm talking about, but I've watched multiple documentaries and read some books on this. The problem with that is that one of the side effects of Contrave is that there's been recorded cases of suicidal thoughts. I have a problem with that. So when something is creating more issues than it's solving, I really strongly have an opinion about that. That's in general when it comes to supplements. I don't have a problem with supplements, but unfortunately supplements are not regulated by the FDA. They're regulated by the companies that make them, which to me seems a little bit counterproductive. So think about what it is that you're using. A lot of times those supplements do have a side effect, but this is even a prescription medication that has been studied and approved by the FDA. So if the benefits do not outweigh the risks involved, I don't think it's something that you should be utilizing. Just keep that in mind for anything that you're using. But of course, you should always talk to your doctor before quitting something. I think that that's super important as well. So anyway, just wanted to talk to you about that tonight. That is my opinion. You know how I roll. I do have an opinion about just about everything. But this one's one that's really important to me because I find that so many people think that this is just the answer. Hey, let's just take a pill. And it just doesn't work that way. Guys, if you don't have to put some effort into it, you're not going to get where you want to go. So get over it, get off your butt, and go do something about it, one step at a time. Getting off the couch is the first step. It's more than most people do anyway. So you can do it. I do believe that you can. Stay tuned. And if any of you have questions, I'd love to answer them. Go ahead and leave me a message below, or you can give me a quick email at melissa@fillmorefitness.com. Great things coming up in the near future. Super excited about that. So I'll look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great night. And you guys, please, please, please be safe.